Good morning, guys. Happy Sunday. It's April 15th. Well, it's not exactly tax day here in the U.S. I think tax day is actually Monday, if I remember correctly. I already got mine in, so not worried about it. Let's see. Tax day 2018 is April 18th. So if you're living in the U.S. and you haven't got your taxes yet, you got a couple more days. Sorry, April 17th. April 7th. April 17th. It's Tuesday, so make sure you get your taxes done before Tuesday. Luckily, I got mine done already. Biggest pain in the ass of the year doing taxes, but I have a good accountant, which is good. So anyway, happy Sunday. Sorry, it's been a while since I've streamed, guys. I know it's things in my real life have been a little bit hectic, and haven't had as much time as I would have liked to stream. Although I have been flying in VR, but wanted to get on here. The news about the new AFM M20 Acclaim was released, I guess, this morning. Coop is actually in the chat. Coop's the developer of the Ovation and the Acclaim Advanced Flight Modeling. So welcome, Coop, and welcome all you guys. Bug Eater, Crash. Who else did I miss here? MK84. Dick Nelly is in the chat. So welcome, guys. Good to see you guys here. We're going to be flying this thing. This bird. Beautiful bird. Yeah, I like my matching shirt. Yeah. The red shirt. We're going to be flying this beautiful bird in France. And our network in France. I actually built out some ortho last night, and actually have not flown it yet, so I'm excited to see what that looks like from the air. But I thought this would be a good opportunity to jump in the new Acclaim, give it a ride. It's got a G1000. We're going to start at Cold and Dark and take a quick trip. I'll show you the trip we're going to do. Not a big money maker today, but it's more about the flying today. So anyway, welcome, guys, and again, it's good to see you guys in the chat. So let me get this music off here, and we'll get right to it. I'm still finishing up my morning coffee here. A lot has happened since I guess last time I streamed. Baseball season started here in the U.S., which is awesome, and it's warmed up here in the Northeast, which is nice. At least yesterday it was warm. Today it's gotten a little bit cooler, but the weather yesterday was absolutely beautiful. It was a good day to go out and clean up the yard and pick up tree branches, and had to chop up a spruce tree that fell down. Nice spruce. Unfortunately, we lost in a storm. And anyway, got all that stuff done, and now I can fly. So first, let's take a look at the Acclaim. Now, it's let me just go over the where's my, I thought I had a thing set up here to look at this. Give me 1 second, guys. All right. Give me 1 second. Pull this up. All right. So M20 Collection 2.2 update released by Cooper. Posted this morning, actually yesterday. Pardon me. Proud to announce 2.2 version with the inclusion of the M20TN Acclaim Type S, one of the fastest single-engine piston aircraft capable of cruising at 242 at flight level 250, so 25,000 feet. You can get this thing up to, and get yourself up to very fast cruising rate. So this thing's got some distance and some speed. They're also working on a total cabin remodeling to bring up the graphic standards in the interior, which is awesome. You got to remember, there's still AFM is still in early. I guess, Cooper, would you still consider this early access, or are you, since you're at 2.2 now, are you considering this a release product? Maybe you could just clarify that. But there, it's great to see that you know AFM is one of those developers that is continuing to improve on its product. So you spend $35 or whatever it is for this plane, and you're going to get a company that's going to continue to make it better, which is what you want, right? We've got 7 default liveries. After 2.3, it will not be in early access. Okay, so we're still in early access. 2.3, it will be their release. It's good to hear. So they revised the nose of the. I have to check that out, of the Ovation 2 and 3. Customized G1000 for the Acclaim, which we'll check out in a second. Enhanced oxygen system. Enhanced performance of the G1000s, and oxygen system, and hypoxia simulation for those who want that. I actually have that turned off, believe it or not. But anyway, so continuing to update the plane, and it looks beautiful. I'm excited to get in it and try it out. So let's see what we're gonna do today. We're in France. I'm not gonna pretend to be able to pronounce the names of these. Well, let's see, Villeneuve-Saarlat Airport. I probably should know that, since that's our new hub in France, and we're going to be going to Villeneuve. Okay. Oh wait, sorry, did I mess that up here? Yeah, this is Villeneuve-Saarlat. That's our hub. Okay. And we're going to be going to Villeneuve. So we're not a big. We only have one person going out to on the way out, and we've got 3 people bringing back. So not a big money maker here, but certainly enough to get a flight done. I'm just going to buy some fuel because I like to support the local FBO since we own it. So I'm going to I'll put 50 gallons in it. We really don't need that much fuel, but why not have a decent amount of fuel on board? And so pretty simple flight across the French countryside here. We're gonna fly at we'll go to 3,000. We don't have to get up too high. Uh, LFMW is at 553 feet, and Saarlat, or LFCW, which is our home base, is at 200, right near the river. So we don't really have to get too high, but I'll bring it up. We'll go to 3,000. What the hell? All right, and that's pretty much it. So let's check the plane out. I already have this selected for VR Aviation. If you want to fly a flight for VR Aviation, all you have to do is select Fly for VR Aviation. Pretty simple. All right, so let's get inside this plane here. If you guys have any questions, I'll be happy to answer it. Oh, actually, let's look around the outside. I know the wings are different, right, Coop? They've got these little tips on the end here. They're a little swept back. Now there isn't because the design of this plane's a little bit different. There isn't a livery for VR Aviation, but this livery comes pretty damn close. With the red on it, looks beautiful. With that, I love that gold stripe. But the typical, as I mentioned before, and in the first time we looked at the Ovation, very very detailed work on the graphics. When you go right up to it, you still see fine line, almost as if it was in real life. And looks great, man. Looks great. Peer inside there. Got a little cabin open, or I should say cargo opening there. And could open that door. And that's pretty much it. Let's get inside here. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that, Coop. It's no hurry. That's no hurry. I know you guys got a lot you're working on. All right, so let's get this bird fired up. So let's get our master on. First, I want to get rid of the yolks are. I can latch to the yoke and I can control it with the touch controller. So this plane has full VR capability, just like the other, the other ovations, the 2 and 3 ovations. But I'm going to remove the yoke here. Why doesn't that work? One second, guys. All right, yoke removed. I just used the Y button. All right, so let's get the master on. And initializing the systems. We're going to get our mixture in, prop in, throttle through about 25%. Go over to this key, clear prop. Oops. There we go. Got a good start. Avionics are on. Get our autopilot is on. Get our alternator on. And get that master alarm off. We don't need that. Make sure what lights we have here. We have nav light. Get our strobe light on. Taxi light on. We don't need the landing light. Get our beacon on. Good. Yeah, it is beautiful. We're going to see how fast this is. We're going to take her up for a cruise. All right, so got everything warming up here, and I think I've already set up a flight plan. Let me just see here. Now, what I love is Laminar has, they've improved the G1000. You now have this blue, which is easy to read in VR, and also it's a little bit larger, the font, and also the granularity is a lot better. So now you can actually use this in functionally. All right, so we're going to get that flight plan. I'm pretty sure this is going to be my flight plan. Oh, nope, I didn't load it yet. Give me a second. All right, so let me get my flight plan in here and go back to flight plan. All right, there's my new flight plan, loaded, ready to go. We're on CDI's on GPS. Let's see if have you done anything with addition with the checklist? We got the before takeoff checklist. Oh, we do. Okay, so you got before takeoff. So space. Oh, Crash, thanks for the host. I appreciate that. So this is basically your pre-takeoff and checklist. And then if we go to the next one, we have flight, mixture, throttle, rotate at, what does that say, 67, gear up, climb speed. All right, so it looks like you're adding to your checklist. Then we go after landing. Okay, so we've got, looks like you're expanding the checklist, which is great. Okay, we'll look forward to that. Let's check out the engine parameters. I guess these are specific to the line. Let me go back. I'll go back to that in a second. So I guess this is specific to this plane, which is pretty cool. Let's go to checklist. Oh, yeah, checklists. Oh, where's the group? Well, how do we? All right, so if I'm in the first one here before takeoff, right? I'm kind of confused. So, big FMS knob. Oh, okay. Big FM. Oh, I see. Nice. So I could do that, and then can I check these? Oh, nice. Then I could just go down. Oh, that's awesome. All right, so use the big FMS, and I could check. Boom. Go to next checklist. Oh, that's sweet, dude. That's sweet. Check it out. Go to next checklist. Nice. So I could basically just hit the enter button and go through all the checklists. That's sweet. Nice work, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. Very nice. All right, so basically what you do is go to checklist, and then, well, I guess I can go back to, so you go checklist, then you use the FMS. Line 2 is there where you can switch list. Line 1 is group as well. All right, cool. Awesome. Well, that's great that you're expanding that. That's pretty cool. So that's the enhancements to the G1000. Any other enhancements to the G1000? That's awesome. So let me just go here to checklists. So if I go, oh, so this is before takeoff. That's awesome. Nice work on that. All right, so that's cool. And I guess at this point, let's get this bird up in the air. Let's get our heat on, pitot heat. And use a turbine inline temp, inlet temp for leaning instead of EGT for the Acclaim. Okay, cool. Good to know. Always got to make sure my trim is set, because sometimes your trim gets messed up. All right, so we're going to be taking off to the east, right? So I guess I'm going to have to back taxi on this. Let me just see if let's see a taxi diagram here. Yeah, we got a back taxi. So let's do that. First and foremost, let's get FS Economy rolling so we don't waste our flight here. Oh, I got to assign this. Oh, let's see. I'll show you guys what I'm doing here. This plane doesn't. It's got to be the. Need that, but we need to go. Mooney. M20 Bravo. Okay, that's good. Start flight. Good. And we are en route with the M20 Bravo. Because there isn't an Acclaim in FS Economy, so we'll have to use the Bravo. Hopefully the gas burn will be fairly close. I've got 50 gallons to go 82 miles, so that should be fine. Yeah, so let's do it. I just want to check my volumes here. Sound. It seems kind of low. I can always decrease if I need to. There you go. Got a little bit more of an engine noise. All right, let's taxi. We're going to back taxi because there is no taxiway on this airfield. Ooh, now we got the sound of the engine. Oops. I noticed a lot of these airports in France, they don't have taxiways. Everything's a back taxi. Got great ground handling, and I love the way the head bobbing. Like I'm not using XP Realistic, and you get a nice head bobbing with this plane. You really feel like you're in it. So I'm interested, Coop, on what when you mentioned enhancements to the cabins, are you gonna redo all the cockpits? I forgot to set up my autopilot. Let me get this thing turned around here. And while we're in the air, we'll do a quick update on VR Aviation too. Set parking brake. Set parking brake.
Parking brake set.
All right, so we said the 3000, right? Get a good view of. There's 3000. We want nav on. We want our vertical speed. We'll climb at 600 to get ourselves up to altitude, and we should be good to go. Seats, sidewalls, textures, panel background. Wow, pretty much everything is going to get messed with since. All right, cool. That's awesome. Again, it's nice to see that you're committed to improvement, which is good. All right, so now we're set up here. Pick up our GPS route and get on our way to what is it? FS, I forget, but the computer knows where we're going. All right, so that's all set up, and let's get in the air here. I see that my trim is messed up. I don't know why. Oh, I know why, because I set up the autopilot. But I thought I had flight director on and not autopilot itself. Oh well. All right. Problem solved. Like I said, set it up again. Get it in the air first. All right. 90 knots. Gear up. And we're going to make a little turn here. I got to fix this. To have track up. I don't know why it was north up. All right, let me get my autopilot going here. So we're gonna go nav, and then we're gonna go 600 feet. And that should get us to where we're going. I'm gonna watch the speed here. It is a quick bird. We don't need to go too fast. Yeah, so I put in the, I built the ortho out last night. I just got tired of flying in crappy scenery. It looks great, man. So we've got 76 miles. About a half, it'll probably be about 20 minutes once we get up to altitude. And I want to make sure I've got my settings. I like to have the auto tank. I like to use that auto switch for the tanks. Just because I think, like in a plane like this, or well, maybe it's not able to do it in a plane like this, but I just think that it's nice to have that auto selector. I don't know about you guys, but since I upgraded to Beta 5, 1120 Beta 5, I've noticed very smooth frame rates. Like the whole issue when you looked at the left side of the cockpit, you got a lot of stuttering, has gone. It seems to be much smoother, which is good. It's causing some angst to some users. Let's see what this looks like on the outside. I like that tail. I know some people don't, but I love the design of this plane with that tail. I just think it looks really sleek. Check that out. Over the French countryside. I wonder if this is the wine country. I'm not sure. I'm not really that familiar with the geography of France. Yeah, I agree with you. I think Beta 5 is the best version. They've seemed to clean some things up. All right, we're going to come to altitude here pretty soon. So keep in mind, guys, when you buy the AFM Ovation, you get the 2, the 3, and this plane. 3 varieties of M20s that you can fly. 2 of them have G1000. The Ovation 3 and this Acclaim have the G1000. If you want to fly old school, you can fly the Ovation 2 that's got steam gauges. So nice variety of planes for your money. And so far, very pleased with the operation and the flight modeling. And I know Coop and his team, I've talked to him quite a bit about their design process, and they put a lot of love and effort into making sure that the flight modeling is a high priority for them. All right, let's see if we can lean this thing out a little bit. Go to engine here. Keep her at 172. I'm not gonna go up to flight level 25,000, but here we're at 3,000 doing 172. So this plane can move for a single engine. I just don't need to go up that high. I gotta change the standby altitude indicator. What do you mean? I'm a terrible pilot. Well, I'm not a pilot. I'm just a simulation actor. Look how smooth that is now with Beta 5. Much better. Much better. No more jagged stuttering. That looks so much better. And I'm in pretty high settings, so it's awesome. Very happy with that. All right, so while we're good to go here, we got 20 minutes. Let's take a look at and I'll monitor things as we're going here to make sure we're okay. But let's take a look at our FS Economy update. Brought to you by VR Aviation, the great group on FS Economy. Gauge bottom right, pull knob on the round gauge altitude. Hold on. Oh, this? Oh, I see. So you basically set it to 3,000, or I always thought this thing just followed. This is a steam gauge that followed along with your actual altitude. Oh, I know what it is. Hold on. The one above. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. Nice frame rates, nice and smooth. Look at that. Now, I didn't build out all of France. I just built out like 12 tiles, so I'm hoping that I built out where we're going. But so far, so good. Looks pretty cool from 3,000 feet. All right, so let's get. We've got 18 minutes till our. So we'll go over part of our update. So here we are. Let's start with the money. So we've got $1.1 million, about $1.2 million in a little over close to $1.3 million actually in cash. We're trying to keep track of each FBO area separately to give us a good indication of, pardon me, how those areas are doing. Right now, the West is our best. If you take a look at the monthly statement for the West, we've got $40,000 in FBO operation, cruise fees, repairs, jet fuel sales. So they're doing really well out there in the West. East Coast is doing pretty good too. Take a look at that. We've got almost $26,000 in income, which is good. France still has to get jolted a little bit. Only 20,000, but a lot of that is from when we were resupplying some of the airports and stuff. But so we need to get more flights in France. We've got 88 operations so far, although again a lot of that was work that we did to resupply. So we need to get some more activity there. As far as activity in the East, if you look here, 180 flights, which is great. In the West, we've got 159. So doing well for mid-April, which is good. And again, about 1.2 million in cash. As far as aircraft go, we take a look at that. Pretty much status quo, although I did take the B1900D off lease, the one that I own, because I'm selling it. I'm trying to raise the money to buy a different plane. So 1.2 something, 1.2 million. So on that, but we still have every other plane that we've had before. We've got 3 planes in France now. We've got a Skyhawk, we've got a Baron, and we've got an Arrow. Okay, so 3 planes that we own or are leased to us are in France, and we've got a couple other planes there too. If I go to here, we've got the Bravo Skyhawk. We've got I brought an SR-20 and an Archer there, so in case people wanted to fly those. And so there's some decent amount of aircraft in the hangar there to fly, and pretty much everything else is status quo. So that's as far as FBOs go, in Europe it's the same. The only changes in the East are we added RJD since our last update, and also 3N6. I found this one. It was on sale. It's a nice little airport in central or north central New Jersey, and it fitted nice to our network there, so we added that one in. So right now we've got what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 FBOs in the New Jersey. Sorry, not New Jersey, in the Eastern hub. So we're building that out. I'm still looking for a 3-lotter to be the central hub for all of this. The goal is to find one like in the middle of this somewhere, like somewhere maybe in Pennsylvania or New Jersey, and tie all this stuff into it. That's the goal. As far as France goes, no change there. Well, I should say the only change is before our central hub was FDA, and we switched that to FCW. And that was because if you take a look at the map here, oops, these need to be modified. They're kind of messed up right now. But FDA is down here, and LCW is here, so it just made more sense to put it here. We still have these kind of outliers that were there before, but we're gonna try to find something like right around here to bring all this thing together. So no changes there, no major changes there, and no major changes to the Western network at all. That's pretty much stays the same since the last time we had an update. All right, so that's where we are as far as BR Aviation goes. Let's just take a look at the status of flights. So Nelly right now, Nelly ST-24 is the #1 pilot with $343,000, over 7,000 miles in distance, and a pretty nice profit margin of 33%. Crash is in second, although his profit margin isn't as good. So he said he's going to be working on changing that, which would be nice. I hope this is wrong, but I don't think it is. MK's in third, and with 329,000. So that's the status of the pilot contest for the month. First pilot, second pilot, third pilot gets paid. It's a percentage of the net assignment income, which is a nice incentive. So, but still plenty of time, and there's still plenty of people that are have a shot here. Sosa has a shot. B2 has a potential shot. So everyone doing pretty well. It's pretty reasonable to shoot for around a 40% profit margin, 35 to 40% profit margin. One of the tricks is you want to limit the number of green assignments. If you can keep it to under 5. Yeah, that C-130 is a dog. The C-130 and the DC-3, those two planes are, as far as I've seen, are very difficult to make profitable. Just because you pay so much in booking fees and so much in rental. I mean, if you own one, okay. But if you have to rent it, it's so expensive to rent it that you got to be. I would say it's really more for like major cargo runs. You fill it up with a bunch of cargo, but it's tough to make money with that plane, and DC-3 as well. I think it's tough to make money with that too. But if you shoot for, if you're flying passengers, you want to try to keep it. You want to try to limit the number of assignments. So if you can get, anything 5 green assignments or below, you pay no booking fees. So that's why with like the Challenger, people say, oh, you can't make money with Challenger. You can. If you have 4 assignments or 5 assignments, only 8 passengers, but you can get there quick. Yeah, you're going to burn a lot of gas, but you can still make decent money. Now, the Challenger's more, you're going to make money with cargo, but you can make money with it on the passenger side too. So, in any event, things are going well. got a lot of active pilots. Not, I gotta say, not as many as last month. So hopefully, some of the folks that haven't flown as much will pick things up. But that's okay. I know the weather's getting nice. People have a lot more things to do outside. Totally understandable. So, expect a lot more activity in the cold months than I do in the warmer months. Yeah, the Challenger's my main moneymaker too. You could spend a couple of hours just flying cargo flights from hop from one airport to the other and make really, really good money. Because on the cargo flights, you're not paying any booking fees. So if you own it, I own a Challenger. I'm actually I want to buy another one. That's why I'm selling the 1900D. But I want to have one that I use and one that I either rent or lease out to somebody. But in any event, I just think the Challenger is one of the best money makers if you're flying cargo. So, all right, so that's the update. As far as the website goes, we haven't really made any major changes to the website. The report's still there. I know Mike is working on enhancing this report. You can see it does. I think it updates every 2 hours or so. All right, so it should be pretty up to date right now. You can see Nellie's in the lead there. What's nice about this is it gives you the daily, so you can see the accumulation of how the group did on each day, which is great. So yeah, so that's the website. And again, no major changes to that. If you're interested in getting liveries for the VR Aviation planes, you can go to this page here, liveries, and if you click on one of the pictures, you're going to take right to the files that you can download to use these liveries, which are free to use. So make sure you check that out. All right, let's get back on the plane here, make sure everything's copacetic. All right, 27 miles. We are rocking at 171, and we got 9 minutes. We should probably start to get down here a little bit. So let's bring her down to 2,000. Vertical speed, we'll go down like 200 feet per minute. Just take her down nice and slowly. And we're going to pick up speed here. So it looks like I do have ortho out here. Just going to lower my throttle a little bit to make sure we don't overspeed. Yeah, rental is cheap on the Challengers. I think you can rent them out for about $800 an hour. So I was actually thinking about buying one. Have the one that I use that I don't rent, and then buying another one and renting it out. And I don't care where they fly; they can fly anywhere they want. We'll see. Or maybe have a fleet of Challengers. I think the Challengers, I love flying the Challenger. It's a fun plane to fly. It's great in VR. It's great on frame rates. It's fast. It gets up quick. It's a cool plane. It's one of my favorite planes in X-Plane. Now, the one plane that I love that I'm a little bit disappointed in the current release is the SR-20. It's working fine. This is 2.6 release, but for some reason, for me, it's hard to switch the the battery of the alternator and all the light switches with the touch controller. You have to do it in like a special one motion to do it. You can't just click on it with the laser or with the nose of the touch controller to turn it on and off. It's like it's got some sort of issue. Now, reported it to B-Flight Air. Hopefully they fix it. But I mean, the plane still flies great in VR, and I still love the plane. But it's just that one little issue that they need to fix. But yeah. But the Challenger is quickly becoming one of my favorite planes in VR. Man, I tell you, it's so nice not having this starting. It looks so realistic. Look at that little village on the French countryside there. It's pretty cool. Chili Willies, how you doing, man? Thanks for stopping by. Chili Willies, one of the more active streamers, flight simulation streamers on YouTube. Chili, have you gotten into VR yet? I know that you do a lot of P3D and big jet airliner streaming. I'm not sure if you've gotten into the VR stuff yet. I know we've talked about it in your stream a little bit. Ooh, you got partnered on Friday. Good for you, man. That's awesome. That's fantastic. Glad to hear that for you. That's one of the goals. It's a goal of most of us Twitchers, streamers. That's a great goal. You got to do a lot of streaming to get to that point, so good job. And that ortho looks awesome. Makes me want to fly in France more. I think I'm going to be flying in France more. All right, so one of the other things I wanted to talk about, I know we're getting kind of close here, was the Vive Pro. Now, I don't know if you guys follow Linus Tech Tips on YouTube. If you don't, you should. It's been around forever. It's got millions of viewers. His group does great reviews, honest reviews, no bullshit, right? You know, he gets supplied stuff from everybody, but he'll call a pig a pig. You know, he'll basically, he won't, he's like me. He's not going to pretty something up just because he's getting it for free or getting paid or whatever. And he did a review. He did a review a couple of months ago of the Pimax 8K, which I thought was really, really insightful. Because basically he said, he called out its issues, which it's got a lot of issues. Now it was an alpha version, understandable, but he threw a little bit of mud into the conversation because a lot of people were saying, "Oh, I want to get that." A lot of people were saying, "Oh, it's the next phase," but he did a great job, I thought, of bringing things down to level. And he recently did a review of the Vive Pro, and a very honest review of the Vive Pro, in which he ended up concluding that even though he got it for free, he would rather use his existing Vive. And there's a lot of reasons why. I'm not going to go into that. You can watch the video. Go to YouTube, search Linus Tech Tips, the Vive Pro review, and you'll find it, I'm sure, easily. But if you're considering VR, right now the buzz is the Vive Pro because it's got better visuals. It's got better density of pixels in the headset, which it does. But it's got a lot of trade-offs that, for the price, which is very, very pricey to get into, you might want to consider sticking with a Vive or a Rift, because it's really not next-generation VR. You might be considered it's like 1.5 next generation, not really 2.0 next generation, if you understand my kind of like analogy there. But so he kind of threw a little bit of water on the buzz, which I agreed with. When they first came out with that announcement of that product, they really didn't designate it as a commercial targeted product. They said it a little bit, but it was, they didn't really discern the difference in the market. And when you really look at that product, it is a commercial product. It's designed for easy access on and off, which is something you would want at a trade show. Does have the better visuals. It's got the better audio than the Vive, the original Vive. But it's not really a consumer product, right? And you got to understand that going into it. So, people that are looking at VR right now, before you go and jump and spend, I think, what is it, $1,200 for that thing? And not only that, you've got to buy the base station, you got to buy controllers because it doesn't come with it. Okay. Make sure you check out that video before you spend that money. You got to wait on VR. It wasn't. The real question is, why are phones the same price of VR? Well, yeah, you're talking about like the iPhone 8 and the iPhone 10. You know, I'm not gonna. Well, listen. Let me make sure. Oh, I got to get myself ready to land here. While I'm doing that, I guess I can. Yeah, I mean that's a whole different discussion, right? You have to remember how much technology is packed into a phone, right? A smartphone. I'm going to say the Apple phones, right? Yes, they have extreme profit margins, okay? But there is a lot of technology, packed into those devices, and they're as powerful as laptops were, like 10 years ago. Is that my runway there? Oh, let me see. I guess it is. I thought this was an asphalt runway, but I guess it's not. All right, let me get my It can't be my runway, is it? Yeah, I think that's my runway. All right, I'm gonna have to Sorry guys, I have to aviate here. Okay. Where's my heading bug? There's my runway. We'll get into the VR discussion on the way back here. Let me get this plane on the ground first. First notch flaps, slow that plane down a little bit. All right, let's make our base turn. There's our runway. Turn final. Get that gear down. Notice, Coop, you added some nice sounds to the gear. I didn't hear that. Like before 2.1, I think 2.1 you added those sounds, which is pretty cool. All right, we're at 115. Let's get that second notch of flaps in, and we're gonna get that trim up. Of course, X-Plane has a tree drawn right in front of the runway. So I guess we got a gravel runway here. I thought it was asphalt. Yeah, we'll just pretend those trees aren't there. All right, a little bumpy. Clean up the flaps. What we'll do is we'll just taxi over here. We'll take off the other way. I love how the dirt kicks up behind you here. Making our plane all dirty. We're gonna have to get someone to clean the plane when we get back to the to our hub. I could have sworn that this was an asphalt, but when I checked it. All right, let's get turned around right here. Look at all that dust. All right, so let's set the parking brake. Set parking brake.
Parking brake set.
All right, give me 1 second, guys. All right, we finished that flight. Let's go to... All right, so I don't expect that we made a whole lot there. Yeah, we didn't make much there. We only had 1 passenger. All right, so current flight is we got 3 people going back to our hub. Let me just see. Did this... Yeah, see, it says asphalt. That's weird. All right, so we got 3 people going back. Let's get that started. How much gas do we have? 40 gallons, plenty. All right, get that started. So this shows en route. En route, I should say. All right, so we'll deal with our autopilot once we get up in the air. So let's get this guy up in the air. Just kicking up that dirt. Get her up. Come on, get her up. Get up. There you go. All right, gear up. Flaps up. I'm sure these lovely French people can't stand the sound of my plane, but that's all right. Turn her around here. Low and slow, baby. Low and slow. All right. There's our airfield. All right, let's see here. Let's get our... Go 2,500.
Down to flaps 1.
No. Flaps are up. Set altitude 2,500.
Altitude 2,500 feet.
Let's go nav. Let's go vertical speed, and we'll go up 600 feet, and we should be good to go there. Just watch our speed. All right, so let's see, a couple things to address here. Yeah, the Samsung Odyssey, I was actually thinking about getting one, but a lot of reports that I've read said that the tracking has some issues, which is a problem for me. So, but that's one that's definitely on potential that I was thinking about maybe getting. Yeah. Why are phones so expensive? I mean, they do a lot, but I think that it's a it's a situation where Apple and Samsung, which are the two primaries, they just have the market to the point where people can't wait for the next thing, right? People are always they want the next thing, and they're in that cycle of next things. And I for one, I'm always like I have an iPhone 6. I'm always 2 releases behind Apple. I just can't see this the sense in shelling out $1,000 for a phone. First of all, I'm not into face recognition. I don't want Apple to have my face recognized in their database. I don't even use the touch capability, the fingerprint capability. I don't want that. I just don't trust them having my information. So there's all that question. But yeah, I mean, it's expensive. It's expensive. You want that greatest, like the iPhone 10, And I heard that Apple's having problems selling it. $1,000 phone? I think phones should be about $500. There was a time, 3 or 4 years ago, where Verizon or AT&T would give you the phone for like $200 because they were happy that you were using their service. Those days are gone. Those days are gone unless you go to Sprint or T-Mobile, where they'll give you a bit better deal because they're more hungry. But AT&T and Verizon have so much of the market share of the cellular market share in the U.S. and even worldwide that they've come to the point where they say, screw you. You have to lease the phone from us. It's like buying a freaking car. You lease your cell phone. Think about that. That's like, people are paying $25, $30 a month for the phone. And you could lease a car like a Honda Civic for like $99 a month. It doesn't make much sense, right? $30 for a phone, $100 for a car. It is kind of wacky when you think about it. Yeah, that's what they say, Coop. That's what they say. They say that until a breach happens, and then they'll say, "Oh, well, we're living in that world, right, where you have to trust people with your information, your personal information, and you're always on the edge of your seat, waiting for the next data breach, right? It's not like the Facebook thing where, if you're on Facebook and you don't realize that they're collecting information on you, you need to wake up. It's a public free website, There's nothing for free. When you're on the web, if you go someplace where it's free, you're paying with your data. People have to understand that, And most people, the average Joe, I don't think really understands that. They don't understand, like when you see those Facebook posts that asks you, what kind of car did your father drive? What was your father's first car? Well, when those kind of posts come up in your news feed and you answer them, they instantly can detect when you were born, right? Around the time when you were born. They can verify that. So that means now they can advertise. They have a parameter to build a profile of you, right? And then that same company might ask a different question, and then they'll add another parameter to build a profile for you. So then pretty soon this company, they ask about, when your parents were married, what kind of car did they have, what television show did you like when you were, all these questions about your past. They compile that information into a profile so that they know how to market to you. And people don't understand that. That's what they're doing. That's why you don't answer those things on Facebook. There's no reason to give information that you don't want, that you don't need people to have, Well, they aren't an advertising company right now. They're not. But that doesn't mean I don't trust anybody, especially the biggest tech company in the world, aside from Google. They have Apple's got one mission, and that's to be profitable. And they will do anything to be profitable. If one of their revenue streams starts to fall, believe me, they will do everything within their bounds to be profitable, and that may even include changing the user agreement that we all accept blindly every time we upgrade our phone, right? You have to understand that when in the connected world, people are constantly gathering information about you. It's not a paranoid thing; it's a real thing. It's the way the world is. So, just be aware, and don't answer those dopey posts on Facebook. What was the first car your father ever had? Or which television show did you wish had never come on TV? Well, they might be able to if you answer that question, they might be able to mine or surmise your political beliefs, your religious beliefs. There's all kinds of things that they could surmise, right? You got to remember, we're in the world of machine learning and artificial intelligence. And for those of you that don't know, machine learning, okay, is the ability, and artificial intelligence, they use those capabilities to be able to sift through what they call big data. And big data means massive amounts of information. So let's say 1 million people with 17 different data points, right? That's 17 million data points, right? Well, maybe it's 100 million people, and you're in the billions of data points. Well, it's impossible. It was impossible like 15 years ago to be able to take that information in any reasonable amount of time and use it to profile. Well, now they can use machine learning, which is basically a computer teaching itself how to do things more productively, okay? And AI, which is a computer learning on its own, very similar. There's kind of like a fuzzy line. Using those capabilities, they're able to sift through those billions of data points and come up with some pretty interesting, pointed results or decisions or results that can help them, number one thing, market to you, right? The number one thing. They want to get more of your dollars. That's what companies want to do, get more of your dollars. And that's what they're using it for. So beware of those Facebook posts. Don't answer them. Unless you want to, but I personally don't. Anyway, off the soapbox now. Coop, you created a nice plane here. It's a lot of fun to fly. It flies real nice in VR. I love the little the swooped up tips on the wings. I didn't realize the Acclaim had that. But and looking forward to the improvements for sure. Back to the Vive Pro. I mean, I gotta be honest with you. I'm fine with the Rift. I really am. I mean, okay, I've got to have higher res graphics card, a 1080 Ti. If you got a decent computer and a Rift, X-Plane 11 in VR is pretty damn good. I mean, yeah, it's fuzzy 10 miles out or, 7 miles out. But you can use the zoom function and you can make things out. You start to develop a sixth sense about it, Yeah, it would be nice to have crystal clear visuals, but you're going to pay a price for that, That's the thing you got to remember. Like when people say, "Oh, I'm waiting for the next generation of VR," that's all well and good. But make sure you realize that you're also waiting for the next generation PC, because right now a 1080 Ti, okay, gives you the optimal VR experience. As basically, it's driving two 1080p monitors inside the headset. Basically, is what it's, a little bit more than that, but it's around a 1080p, two 1080p monitors, because there's two monitors, there's one per eye, right? Well, when you get into 4K resolution VR, which everyone says they're waiting for, like with the Pimax 8K, it's not really 8K. It's what they say, it's two 4K screens. Okay. Well, now you're getting into a whole different realm of PC power that you need, right? Because a 1080 Ti in itself is going to have it's on its, you know, it's going to be pretty well utilized driving a 4K monitor. Okay. If you go with two 4K screens inside a VR headset, well, even if you read the fine print on Pimax's Kickstarter, they're saying that you may need two 1080 Ti's or the next generation graphics card coming from NVIDIA, which hasn't even been released yet. Now, think about that. If that's the case, you're going to need a CPU that is not going to bottleneck your GPU. So you're probably looking at least an 8700. Well, now you're talking about a very, very expensive PC. You're talking about a PC at least in the $2,000 range, maybe more. Okay. If you need two 1080 Ti's, right now last I looked, I think they were $950 or $1,000 a piece. There's $2,000, right? Plus you got to build the PC with around an 8700, which is probably another $1,500, right? So you're talking about $3,500 for a PC to properly run a Pimax with two 4K displays. $3,500 PC. So that's why, you know, I think people are getting a little ahead of themselves with VR. You know, right now you could have a 6700K PC, or 7700K PC with a 1080. Okay. You don't even need a TI, 1080 or even a 1070, an Oculus Rift for what, $400, and have a pretty damn good VR experience. One that, personally, I've been enjoying for over a year, and I'm still very pleased with it. Yeah, I would love to have higher resolution, but, you know, I understand that that's going to bring, you know, the fact that I'm going to have to upgrade my computer. I mean, I'm really going quick here. You know what I did is I forgot to so anyway, be careful what you wish for, because let's see, what you're gonna say, FOV rendered could solve that. Even Pimax 8K had to use external processing box to double the res, right? Yeah, I mean, there are. I'm not familiar with FOV'd rendering. I have to look into that. I'm sure there's going to be improvements on the rendering side, on the software side, that will mitigate or reduce the amount of hardware you're going to need. Okay, but still, you're talking about a 4K, two 4K displays. That's next generation, right? So I'm going to look into that, because I'm not familiar with that technology. But so I need to look into that. But in any event, you know, like I said, you want to fly VR? Get yourself a Rift. It's pretty damn good. You know, I mean, there's hundreds of people. We have 600 people on the VR Aviation Facebook group. Most of them are enjoying VR with a Samsung Odyssey, a Oculus Rift, a Vive 1, if you will, okay, or Windows Mixed Reality, okay. Most of them are all enjoying VR with those headsets. Yeah, it's a little fuzzy. Yeah, it's got little things here and there that are aggravating. But still, it's an amazing experience to be able to look out your window in southern France and see a horse track moving by at a simulation rate that looks so real that you could reach out and touch it. And you feel like if you jumped out of the plane, you would fall 3,000 feet. You know? So it's you have to, hey Sapper, how you doing? You have to be realistic about what you're asking for. I see all, waiting for the Pimax 8K, waiting for the next generation VR. That's all fine, but you may be waiting a long time. And you could be enjoying for, right now, if you got a decent PC for $400, you got a Rift. And when the other one comes out, you could sell it for $200. So basically, it's going to cost you $200 to be in VR right now. So don't wait. Go buy yourself a Rift. And my recommendation is if you're first getting into VR, unless you've got, discretionary income to blow, I wouldn't spend thousands of dollars on a Vive Pro. I just don't. I don't think it's worth the money for what you get. Watch Linus Tech Tips video, and you'll see what I mean. It's just not worth those extra. What it's gonna. Was it $1,200 plus you got to buy the radios, plus you got to buy the control. Now, if it was $1,200 and it came with everything, I still would say that's too high. If they came out with that headset and it was just, well, first of all, they should have probably offered an upgrade program to existing Vive users if they were going after the commercial market, but they're not. They're going, after the consumer market. But they're not. They're going after the commercial market, which is why they didn't come out with any of that stuff, right? But in any event, be very wary of the Vive Pro. Spending that kind of money. It's another horse track. Must be in horse farm country. That's one thing about our Delaware hub, 33N Delaware Air Park. It's right in the middle of the Delaware, Maryland horse country, which is really cool. You see all these horse tracks. So there's an airport there. 3. It's got grass stripped and 2 airports, 2 asphalts. Yeah, that ortho looks nice, man. So just for you guys joining late, we're flying the Advanced Flight Modeling M20, what is it, TN Acclaim, which is a turbo plane. Can fly at 25,000 feet, get up to 242 ground speed. So pretty quick little plane. Right now we're 2,500 feet, and we're only flying at 174, but still moving along at a nice clip. We got 6 minutes to our destination. So, Sapper, did you get your X-Plane 11 issues straightened out? I know you had said in the Discord that it was crashing on you constantly, so hopefully you were able to straighten that out. So it has something to do with ortho? Maybe you got to reinstall your ortho. Maybe does it have something to do with that version 4 mesh? Because I know that you upgraded to that. Yeah, X-Plane 11's default scenery is just, it's really bogus, man. That's one of the things that is that when you buy X-Plane 11, it's kind of like a hidden wart, if you will. It's the default scenery is just awful. It's just awful. You have to, it's free. It's just a time investment, but you have to go into X-Plane 11 knowing that you're going to build Ortho 4XP. When you do that, it's pretty amazing, but before you do that, it's just awful. All right, we got 13 miles to our turn, and we're going to be coming in from the east side, I believe. Yeah, we'll be heading. No, wait. Let me just look at my map here. Yeah, we'll be coming from the east. It's a nice little landing here at FCW. You land right next to the river, which is kind of cool. But now I moved a bunch of planes to our hub in France. So we've got the Mooney there, which is I'm flying now. We've got a Skyhawk there. We've got an Arrow there. We've got an Archer there. And a SR-20. And also a Baron. So you got plenty of planes there to fly. So check out FCW and fly some routes. Oh, you've been flying DCS. Okay. Well, that's cool. Yeah, I tell you what, Beta 5 has been great for me. I mean, look at that. How smooth that is. I mean, little micro stutters, but nothing like it was. That's so cool. Check out the others. Let's check out this plane from the outside here. Nice looking plane, man. Even look how smooth that is. You know, what seems to be too is that the Ortho in France here that I built last night is just all coordinated as far as the seasons, because sometimes you get like in the U.S. I have like a lot of fall and a lot of springtime, so you can see a lot of differences. This looks very well coordinated. The one thing I was thinking about the other day is, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like X-Plane VR, like I'm at, what time have we got here? Do I have a clock? Is there a clock in here? Yeah. All right, so it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 14:11, right? Every day in X-Plane 11 VR, it looks like a gloomy day. It needs to be brighter or something, you know? Is it me, or you need more sunlight? You need more. It just needs to be brighter instead of like, it just seems like it's going to rain all the time. I don't know. I was watching SimPilot fly this plane yesterday. Cool. Crash, your X-Plane is crashing every couple of hours since the last update. Oh, that's weird. I'm sure you deleted preferences. I'm not gonna. I know you know to do that. It is dim, isn't it? It's just dim. All right, here we go. We're making our turn. Coming from the east. I pretty much know where this airport is. I could hand fly it in, which I think I'm gonna do here. All right, so let me. All right, let's get this party started here. Autopilot is off. Time to hand fly. Seems so smooth, man. Check out the hand. That's so nice, man. It's this plane and the Challenger, I think, have the best handling. Here's my airport right there. All right, we still got to slow this plane down a little bit here. So, gear down. Nice sound on the gear. Notch of flaps. So, I mean, it's a nice landing right over this river. It's cool. It's a nice little valley. It really is a nice place to fly. It's got to get more people flying here. So you guys in VR Aviation Group, get over to France and do some flying, man. Got to pay those FBO bills. We're a little short. Here we go. That's a good job. All right. All right, let me get this plane slowed down, clean up the flaps. Let the turn around and taxi back to the FBO. All right, here we go. Yeah, you got a back taxi here. Yeah, that's what I mean. The DC-3's rent is ridiculous. $13,000 an hour? Come on. Yeah, that's ridiculous. You can't make any money with that plane. Unless you own it, you can't make money. All right. Pardon me. Clear the active, taxiing to transient. Or actually, this is our home, so we're taxiing to our home here. We started over by that little cabin there. Gas tanks. We'll get out of the plane and roll her back if we have to. Leave it there for now. Set parking brake.
Parking brakes set.
All right. All right, guys, let's turn this plane off here. Let's get our lights off. Let's get our autopilot off. Pitot heat off. Alternator off. And we're good to go. All right, there we go. The beautiful Acclaim. Nice plane. Nice, fun to fly. That was a nice trip. Right, let's check out how we did here. Let me get to FS Economy. Do my finish flight. Boom. Let's bring up this so you guys can see what the hell I'm doing. Go to the log. And we made a little bit of money coming out. We made let's see, income was 17.5, rental cost us 231, actually say 124 I should say. And total cost was 224, a little bit of a distance bonus. We made $700 for the group on this nice flight, which is fine. And we added to the FBO revenue. So we go to banking, and we go to payment log, and you could see we get some ground crew fees. And those nickels and dimes add up, man. They pay for all the stuff that we do to expand the group. So that's why it's really cool when you fly in our networks, because whenever you're landing, we're getting those dollars back into the group. So in any event, guys, that's going to do it for me this morning. It's been about an hour and 45 minutes, and I've got to go chop down a tree. So I appreciate you guys checking out the stream. And I'll probably be streaming maybe sometime early this week as well. We'll get some more stream time in, and appreciate you guys watching, and have a great Sunday. Take care, guys.